Hi, this is David with the EV World News Weekly Update, where we talk about electric vehicles, green energy, and the stock markets. Today, I want to talk about a great deal that's going on if you're in the market for an EV. Hertz is selling some Tesla Model 3s. They're going under $20,000, some as cheap as $14,000. These are coming out of their rental fleet. They had a massive purchase of 100,000 Tesla Model 3s, and the company's decided to get rid of some of them. And so what's happened is they have a program called Hertz Rent to Buy, and there's all kinds of Tesla Model 3s ranging from $14,000 up to about $19,000. And these are eligible for the $4,000 U.S. federal tax credits. Now, a lot of these have high miles, so they have anywhere from 60 to 90,000 miles on them. A lot of them were rented by a program Hertz had with Uber, where Uber drivers would rent them for the day and they drive them. And then, of course, they were also used for local rentals. Hertz is one of the reasons they're selling off approximately 20,000 of their electric vehicles is because they're saying it wasn't the demand that they were expecting. I watched the CEO talking, and he said that the cash generated will be pumped back into buying more internal combustion engine vehicles. Now, I would think as a rental car, it would be challenging if you've never driven an EV and do that for your first time and get used to the whole charging experience, because you're probably going to have a challenge not being used to it going out and charging. A reduction in the EV fleet doesn't mean that Hertz is eliminating its EV fleet, but they're definitely going to reduce the number that they have. And I heard the CEO talk. He says that they expect to go back in a few years, but at the moment, they need more internal combustion engine cars to meet customer demand. Our next article is on Lucid. Lucid stock suffers an 18% drop so far in 2024. 2023 was a challenging year for Lucid, with troubles that never seemed to end. With significant workforce reduction, they cut 18% of their workforce back in March. And additionally, they had a chief financial officer leave, and it caused other issues. The stock was removed from the NASDAQ 100. Multiple analysts downgraded it, citing low interest in its costly vehicles. The troubles continue into 2024, and as of the 11th, the stock has experienced a decline of 18% from the beginning of the year, falling from $4.17 to $3.41. The Saudi Arabian government essentially owns 60% of Lucid through their public investment fund. In September, the Saudis inaugurated the inaugural car manufacturing facility near its capital, Jeddah. And the Saudi Arabian government has already pledged to buy 100,000 Lucid vehicles within the next decade. So that's 10,000 cars a year. That's significantly boosting the sales of Lucid's vehicles. So I don't see this being any kind of real death knell or anything to Lucid. I think that they will bounce back simply because the Saudis aren't going to let that company fail. Next, we're going to talk about Penen Finina is making a futuristic electric RV. It literally moves walls and transforms into a mini luxury home at the press of a button. Has Starlink internet, rooftop solar panels, and a generator that produces water from moisture. It offers 7 days of off-the-grid living. Pretty fascinating design, very luxurious looking. If you want to know the price, you probably can't afford it, but they're calling it the ETH, or the Electric Transformer House. It's 20 feet long and 11 feet high. It's a neat little trick up its sleeve. The highlight is its transformable design with expandable walls that unlock up to 400 square feet of living space. Wow, that's like a 20 by 20 room. It focuses on sustainability and off-the-grid operability. A retractable solar panel roof can generate about 25 kilowatt hours of power, while an atmospheric water generator system can convert moisture in the air into clean water. It can generate more than 13 gallons of clean water daily. That's pretty incredible. The ETH is still a concept, but AC Futures says it might enter mass production sometime in the fourth quarter of 2025. Now, next is, and VinFast is producing the VF3. This is a Jeep or Suzuki Samurai looking vehicle that claims it seats 4. They should have just made it a 2-seater in my opinion, but it's got seating for 4, and it's a little smaller than what the Suzuki Samurai was, but it's going to be a sub $20,000 SUV EV for the United States. And they unveiled it at the CES show in Las Vegas. It was originally designed for the Vietnamese market and now destined for American shores. But they call it the Mini E SUV. It's smaller than a Mini Cooper, and it's only 125 inches long, which is 10 inches shorter than the Suzuki Samurai and 19 inches longer than the 2018 Smart for 2. Now let's go to the 800-pound gorilla of EVs, let's talk about Tesla. Tesla's Model Y is taking over the world with its incredible sales numbers. So several months this year, it's been the #1 seller in the world. No official numbers released about Model Y sales yet, but it's expected that more than 1.2 million will sell worldwide in 2024. That's 100,000 Model Ys per month. Model Y continues to take the automotive industry by storm. One reason for this may be that the car is a combination of the premium and affordable EVs Tesla offers. The base model of the Model Y is available in the US for under $50,000, which makes it very competitive. It's not the best-selling car in the United States. It is the best-selling car in the world, though, but it is a top 5 car in the United States. The big 3 truck makers all have their top vehicle, and then Toyota has the RAV4, and then the Model Y is number 5 in the US. Now here's kind of an interesting one. A while back I reported on how the EU is investigating China for price fixing and doing things to try to take over the entire EU EV market. Beijing is now retaliating with a probe into brandy sales. No one can match BYD on price. In Europe, the best-selling brand is Volkswagen, but he's complained that his car maker was no longer competitive owing to its higher cost structure. The EU is the second largest market for EVs after China. Demand soared 48% over the previous years, prompting new EV leader BYD to announce plans for its first ever European manufacturing plant in Hungary. The Chinese government calls the Europe's investigation into BYD a blatant act of protectionism. But targeting Germany's car industry by comparison is difficult because the overwhelming bulk are built in China and joint ventures with local partners like FAW and SAIC. It now appears as if China has found a lucrative export sector where it can retaliate, and that's in European luxury goods. France dominates China's import of alcoholic beverages, with its prestigious brandies leading the list. Remy Martin and Hennessy can sell bottles of extra old cognac for hundreds of dollars and above for more aged versions. That puts it in the same price category as a spirit made by government-controlled Guiqiao Mutai, the country's second largest corporation by market cap. Wow, that's pretty impressive. I knew that China was the largest consumption of alcohol, but they are the second largest population country. Its chief product, a brand of clear, colorless white liquor, has been a staple of Chinese party banquets. It was kind of interesting that they're choosing to go after the spirits in retaliation for them going after the EVs. Next, Wall Street analysts think Tesla will limit how many Cybertrucks it builds. Some analysts think that Tesla will produce as many as 78,000 vehicles in 2024. This is of the Cybertruck. And others think it may be as little as 30,000. And part of this is they feel that Tesla is going to do this to try to protect the price. People, a lot of desire for them. So you're not allowed to even sell used Cybertruck for so many months. I think they were trying to say like a year initially. Eventually that'll change. Tesla has over 1 million pre-orders for the Cybertruck. And there's been skepticism on this claim because reservations only required a $100 deposit. But if only 20% are converted to purchases, that's still, they wouldn't meet demand for several years. So it's kind of interesting to see where that's going. Now, the next article is about a company, UPow, out of China. Their superboard skateboard chassis could boost the production of EVs. This is becoming a really common thing. So with internal combustion engine cars, they couldn't build the same type of chassis. So what's happening is you're having basically companies build just a skateboard that could be used for a number of vehicles. Now, it's not been unusual to have a chassis that, say like, the Hummer H2 is built on a Chevy Tahoe chassis, as is the Yukon Denali and the Cadillac Escalade, are all built on that same chassis. But in this particular case, it's called the Superboard, and it's made by a Chinese electric mobility company, UPow Tech. Honda and Hyundai are developing skateboard chassis for use in their own electric vehicles. And they've got a lot of different ideas for what could be sitting on that. It could be everything for something elegant to exotic to delivery vans, trucks. There's all kinds of different ways that designed to go. Appreciate you listening in, and if you enjoyed this week's episode of the Weekly Update. Thank you.